Welcome to The Explainer. We've got something amazing lined up for you today. We're diving into Steve Chandler's incredible book, 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself, Change Your Life Forever. And we're going to zero in on strategy number 60, which is simply this: paint your masterpiece today. I am absolutely pumped to share this with you because it completely flips how we look at our daily routines. We're going to explore this really vivid metaphor that Chandler uses. He says we shouldn't view our lives as just a rigid schedule of tasks, but rather as an artist's canvas.
Okay, let's dive right into this. I want to ask you a very direct question, one that sits right at the heart of Chandler's whole philosophy. Who is the artist today? When you wake up, whose hands are actually on the brush? Are you actively creating your day, or are you just kind of handing that brush over to everyone and everything else around you? It's a tough thought, isn't it? We always like to think we're in control, but this really forces us to honestly evaluate our daily routines and see if we're actually the ones holding the palette. Section 1. The blank canvas. Chandler asks us to fundamentally shift our morning mindset. He defines the start of each day, literally every single morning you open your eyes, as a pristine, completely untouched, blank artist's canvas. It's just sitting there waiting to be intentionally painted. It doesn't have yesterday's mistakes on it. It doesn't have tomorrow's anxieties on it yet. It's just a fresh, unblemished opportunity. And honestly, thinking of your day as a painter's canvas, that totally changes your relationship with your own time. You suddenly realize you have all this space to create something beautiful, but, only if you approach it with actual intention.
But we've got to talk about the warning Chandler gives regarding our default mode of living. If you just go through your day passively, just accepting whatever other people and whatever random circumstances throw your way, those things are just going to splatter all over your canvas. Imagine a beautiful, clean, white canvas just getting hit with random, messy, uncoordinated splashes of paint. It's heartbreaking. You end up with a mess where art could be. If you don't paint your day, well, the world is going to paint it for you. And let me tell you, it rarely paints a masterpiece on your behalf.
Section 2. Splatters of circumstance. Now, what's really interesting about this is how incredibly specific Chandler is about the negative inputs that flood our minds. Just think about these common distractions: internet gossip, commercials blaring on the radio, obsessing over the latest murder trial on the news, maybe absorbing a spouse's criticisms, getting dragged into office politics, or even just mindlessly listening to pessimistic music lyrics. If you step back and truly look at your daily canvas, you might realize it's just rapidly filling up with all these negative things. These are the splatters. They aren't your art. They're just modern distractions, literally hijacking your day. And man, this creates a devastating cycle. Chandler maps out exactly how this passive living destroys our well-being chronologically. It starts during the day, right? You passively accept those unwanted shapes and colors you never even chose, those splatters we just talked about. Then by night, because you've lived such a chaotic day, the resulting mess actually troubles your sleep. You go to bed anxious. And that leads directly into the next morning, where you wake up in a state of fatigue and mild confusion. And from that weakened state, your canvas just gets splattered all over again. It's a continuous loop of passive exhaustion. Chandler actually calls this living in a victim status. And the scary part? A lot of us don't even realize we're doing it. See if any of these habits sound familiar. Reading whatever just happens to be sitting on the coffee table. Listening to whatever station the car radio's already tuned to. Eating whatever is handy instead of actually planning a meal. Scanning whatever pops up on the internet. Or, my absolute personal favorite, watching whatever's on TV because you're literally too passive to even pick up the remote and change the channel. I mean, that is exactly what it looks like to be a victim of circumstance.
But there's a powerful duality here. We really have to look at the sharp contrast between the victim of circumstance and the conscious painter. The victim is unaware, passive, and just sort of absorbing all this negative clutter. But when you become the conscious painter, you become deeply aware of your filling canvas. By stepping back and seeing all the negative things piling up, a certain freedom actually occurs. Like Chandler points out, it's the empowering freedom to choose something better. You realize, hey, I don't have to just sit here and get splattered on. You can step out of the way, pick up a brush, and choose.
Section 3. Managing yourself, not time. Chandler compares two very different approaches to organizing our day here. Most traditional time management courses, well, they feel like rigid courses in engineering. They're all about squeezing minutes, moving calendar blocks, and just mechanical efficiency. But Dennis Deaton's approach, which Chandler highlights, is entirely different. It captures the fluid, creative spirit of the artist. It's not about rigidly engineering your day, it's about day painting.
So,
The crucial point is this singular, incredibly powerful thesis from Deaton's seminar. We cannot manage time. Time just keeps ticking away no matter what we do, right? We can only manage ourselves. When we stop trying to ruthlessly control the clock and start taking responsibility for our own conscious choices, that's when everything shifts.
Let's just sit with this quote from Dennis Deaton for a second. Clear the clutter from your mind and remove the obstacles to greater success. The clutter he's talking about, that's the gossip, the commercials, the passive doom scrolling. By clearing out that mental clutter, you aren't just making yourself feel a little bit better. You are actively removing the obstacles that block your greater success. Mental decluttering is literally the prerequisite to great art.
Section 4. Paint your masterpiece.
True day painting stems directly from goal creation and living the visions you create. It requires an active vision. I mean, you can't paint a masterpiece if you don't have a vision of what you want it to look like, right? It's all about moving away from just reacting to the world and instead projecting your own carefully created goals right onto the blank space of your day.
And this brilliantly illustrates the practical daily painting routine laid out for us. Step 1. Wake up and immediately visualize your day as that blank canvas. Just see it in your mind. Step 2. Ask yourself out loud, who's the artist today? And step 3. Actively choose how you want to paint your day. Make actual prescriptions for managing yourself based on your goals.
As you look at that blank canvas tomorrow morning, the ultimate challenge is deciding who holds the power. Is it blind circumstance or me? Am I going to let the news cycle, the office politics, and whatever random song is on the radio dictate my mood and my actions? Or am I going to be the one who decides exactly what colors go on the canvas today?
So I want to leave you with this final, really provocative thought to carry with you. If I choose to be the artist, how do I want to paint my day? You absolutely have the freedom to choose something better. You are not a victim of circumstance unless you passively allow yourself to be. So clear out that clutter, grab your brush, and decide exactly what kind of masterpiece you're going to create today. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and honestly, I can't wait to see what you paint.